My friends, welcome to Talk Casual. We're broadcasting live here in the Outer Rim through the Fly Casual headquarters. Joining me tonight is the dancing monkey himself, Ian.
Hey guys.
How are you doing, Ian?
Oh, it's hot. Sort of tired, and if I have to measure any more shot puts, I'm gonna probably snap someone's neck.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a shame. As always, I'm the Grandmaster Salt, Ariel, Mars, whatever you want to call me. Tonight we have two special guests joining us from the Coolant Discharge podcast. We have James Mundo, the winner. Sorry, Jim.
we always do winners first here, Jim. That's why you always introduce me first.
That's it.
I was giving thumbs up to my my co-host, and and I can acknowledge that he wins.
And we have, of course, Jim, the TO from our Open World Qualifiers. So big welcome, gents. Thanks for joining us this evening.
The not winner, you forgot, but
Hey, you are a winner for running a good event, so we'll give you that one. All right, so let's start off with you, James. First off, congratulations for your win. Let's start off with the most serious question here. Have you had enough winning these things? Have you going to quit anytime soon? And second off, did you were relieved that Ian and I weren't playing as well? You had your chance.
Thanks for that. I think it was a really hard fought tournament. Like of the 7 games, there were no easy games there. It was all really really tough games against really good opponents. So it was a good tournament. I think I just got a little bit lucky at the end. Sort of went for it in the last game. Decided why not? Let's have a fight, and it just about managed to work out. So it was good fun. It was really good fun.
We were talking.
Great tournament.
Yeah, we were talking about it. You could have gone a totally different way, but you decided to actually make a game of it. And so job well done. First off, how long? Why would you? We will talk about your fleet later on, but why did you decide on Kraken? What was the nexus of this? Why did you decide to take that on the day?
I think he remembers me playing it back in 2019 against him and thought, you know what, Kraken, I should look at that one day. And all these years later, he finally did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was actually playing against the Salvokin Anakin commander.
Yeah.
I kept running fleets. Like classically, I usually play a lot of Imperials or CIS, and I like jousting. But you couldn't joust against Salvokin. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to play that game anymore. Went with Kraken. You're obstructed. I'm taking my TRC shot at long range. Oh, great, you've got Salvo. Cool, I'm going to evade that shot. Thanks. And actually, it just gave you no sort of point where it was really hard for Anakin to pin you down. And then you throw in 134 points of squadrons because Anakin generally didn't have many squadrons. And suddenly it turned into quite a nice counter. And then I kept playing it, and actually it was a really fun fleet to fly because the ships are moving fast. It's got tons of squadrons. It's got Lando. What's not to like? So yeah, Kraken's great.
Yeah, ChatGPT predicted this one. So as it was being said in the Discord, the Australian Armada Discord. How long have you been playtesting that? Since I presume before Anakin got the nerf, I presume.
Yeah, I started playing it actually back when when Anakin came out, and then I think I took it to the Battle for Endor, or the online tournament. I wanted to road test it a bit against some of the top players out there online, and it actually did okay through a bit of testing as well. Kind of practiced it a few times. So it's probably since about mid last year, I reckon. I like practicing, refining it, and tinkering things. Like Jim knows, whenever I send him the tournament fleet list, it's like version 73 by the time it gets to the tournament.
And then the Canberra crew gets all the
Mars, I can count the increased number of grey hairs I get every time James starts a new list, and I have to actually try and play test against it. It's they dramatically increase around the time of Worlds.
Yeah,
understandable. It's kind of like almost the same thing when Ian and I were playing during the days. People just had enough of us, so they just don't come anymore these days.
Mainly because of you, just won't move away from your interdictor or your ISD interdictor or anything interdictor, and also the interdictor, and
I played Republic, all right? Shush.
Yeah, I know. I bet you're waiting for them to get an interdictor.
Yeah, I'll wait for their interdictor. They do that. Well, the old Republic had the old interdictor. So, were there other fleets we were considering taking, or was the main one you was like you're sold on taking?
No, I was 80% certain I was going to run Kraken, but I was also having a lot of fun with the CIS fleet, which is basically sort of tinkering with the Recusant Muni, a Gazanti, and a hard cell and a bunch of squadrons with either Grievous or Dooku. I was kind of playing around with that, and that was a really fun fleet.
So an alteration of your worlds, was it?
Yeah, basically. yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
but that's a really fun fleet. Like, and the CIS have some really great tools. Like the Recusant is one of my favorite ships to fly around, zooming around the board.
Yeah, 100%.
Was that also one that was a good counter? Was Murderkin back in the day, or that one came after?
No, that would have played pretty badly against Salvo King back in the day. That's why I think it got shelved for a long while, and then that got dusted off a little bit once Anakin got into the new version.
Yeah. A lot of CIS didn't get a lot of play once Murderkin came around, Salvokin. So, it was really hard to play CIS, but now that has been watered down, and it's kind of CIS has kind of slowly coming back to the table, so which is a good thing. During the whole tournament, were there any fleets out there like you went, geez, I don't want to face that. That's going to absolutely, it's a scary fleet. I don't want to touch it.
I mean, there were a couple of fleets. I played against one of them on day one, Sean's fleet, the Radis drop. It's such a great fleet with the Radis Starhawk dropping the Providence. It can really trap you. Even if you know it's coming, it's really hard to avoid with the boarding tree in both ships. And he had the little upgrade on their Magnites on the Starhawk. Suddenly I'm speeding along at speed 4 with my engine tech, suddenly drop to speed 1. It's like, it's not good. So I was very, very cautious about playing against that fleet.
Yeah, no, your Corvettes are basically speed 5 Corvettes that want to zip around and go fast. So you get caught in those Magnites and it's kind of game over. So
yeah, had to play very carefully as a result. That was pretty scary. And I think the other one that I think would have been really hard work to chew through was there was one that was Motti with an interdictor and 2 Kuats. It's just so much beef. It would have been impossible, I think, almost for my fleet to chew through it.
Yeah, that and hardened bulk. Not hardened bulk. It's reinforced blasters. So make it 17 hull.
That was Michael's list and a very very tough one.
It was,
and they had PDSCs as well. So good luck to my bombers.
Yeah, we had that on stream, and just watching those Pittix rolls was just amazing.
And then
he had a lot of luck on day one
as well. Yeah. Oh. It was. I was a kid in a candy store watching that. So let's go start off with like day one. What were your thoughts going to the matches there and coming out of day one? What was your thoughts going for the whole day there?
Yeah, so I think with day one we knew it was going to be a top 8 cut. So I think getting a few runs on the board I think was important, but making sure also I didn't take any big losses was probably the strategy as well. So make sure that if I do have any losses, they're kind of contained, and therefore you'd be a bit careful. The round one of day one was up against Lachlan, who's got an awesome fleet and is obviously an awesome player as well. So it's like,
you're just thinking,
what a way to start the day.
Yeah, you're thinking, random game, you're going to get someone. It might be easy win to the game. No, let's go bang. First round, you get the runner-up of the Vassal World Cup. So great.
Two of Australia's best players, round one. It's just it's great. Hey, we loved it for stream.
Yeah,
it was great for the stream. I'm sure you were sweating, but we were enjoying it. Like,
yeah, I was sweating in that game. That was a really fun game. And it was funny. It was. I think we both had the most ridiculous bids in that game as well. So we're both like, we both got the bid here. And like, oh no, actually, only I've got the bid.
Yeah, I remember Locke going, right, give me your this. I got the bid. Let's go. No, wait a second.
Yeah, you were
show my trump card.
Your bid, James, for your list. We'll get into it later, but the bid was 100. You were 384, and Lachlan was 385.
385.
So, just 1 point.
ChatGPT knew. Write me a Kraken list.
Actually, that's a question for you, James. What did you not put in to get that bid? Was there an upgrade that you were vacillating over? And then you decided, no, I want the points. Torn Far?
Yeah, Torn Far was on Bright Hope, and it was useful in a couple of games, but often because the A-Wings in there are very fast and you're jumping them out of engagement, you don't necessarily use Torn Far all the time. So I found that wasn't really getting a huge amount of mileage out of her, but actually really important to have the choice to go first or second, which actually was pretty crucial in a couple of games. Actually, it was pretty helpful. So yeah, it's about having the choice. Oftentimes that Kraken fleet, because it's so fragile, the ships, you wanted to go first, and you have that first player threat with the MC-30 in there as well.
Cool,
nice.
So yep. So your only loss for that day was against the Sean. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think it was a close win against Lachlan, and then I think I got a win after that.
Yeah,
it was a win against Dan. You got
a 10-1.
Dan's Imperial, which was pretty Simon, some Gazantes and Oniga, so he beat Onigalis there. And it was against the Sean in the third one. That was a loss. There was a small loss. There was only a 5. You guys both scored very little points. You got what? You got 36. You got 38.
I think it was like 2 MOV.
2 points.
Yeah.
So it was basically a draw. Then your last one was against Daniel, the Ninja Boomer. You got 8 against him. Yeah, he had a. He also had. You beat both Onigalists. There was 2 Onigalists there, I think, and you beat them both.
Yeah, and I think the Kraken fleet does quite well against the Onagers because. Oftentimes they put the ignition shot down. It's like, I'm not going to have any ships there.
Yeah, that's it.
Zip around out of range. Yeah.
It's kind of a useless gesture.
It's hard for them to bring their firepower to bear.
Yeah. And even if they do get that shot off, it's just like one less die and all your evades and like, see you later. And then dart off, speed 5. Yeah. Never see him again.
That was a fun game though against Dan. I remember there was one point where his Demolisher got a APT hit off on the MC-30, which was the one that you can't take obstructed shots, and then he parked Demolisher right behind an obstacle, so I couldn't return fire, even though he was in black dice range of the MC-30. So that was a good comedy moment.
So you finished the day on 3-1 on 29 tournament points with the MOV of 566 in third place. I presume you felt happy with that. You were in top 8, so reset tomorrow and go for it. That was basically it, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. And that's it. So getting into that top 8, make sure I got sort of in there for the next day. It's like, no sweat. Right. Start again the next day, fresh, clean slate. Let's go again. And I figured when it came to day 2, it's like, okay, I've got to go for it now at this point. Because hanging about is not going to get you the points.
Which you really, like everyone did once in second day. There was no more basically 6-5ing anymore. Everyone was going for the big wins, which was really interesting to see. Like your first round against we'll go to second day now. Alex Forbes, you basically 10-1, and I think it was the last shot of the round for that. You basically 10-1.
Yeah, he was playing a Dooku fleet, which had a really nasty squadron ball. I think he recognized after he'd set up, he sent the Muni one way and the Requisant a different way, and so I ganged up on the Requisant and then fought the squadrons, and then was able to then just pip the Muni towards the back end of the game as well. I was umming and like, do I take the risk and go after the Muni because I might lose some squadrons here and knock points? So I was like, let's give it a go and see if I can take that Muni down, and it did. And actually, it's probably actually quite important to the overall score, getting that big win at the beginning.
Yeah, we got the tail end on that. We actually zoomed the camera in from the other table, from our stream table, to get you getting that at the end. So it was we were trying to guessing. It was like, is it over? So you got it, and then you got that 10-1. Yeah. So that's a really good start. There's always a good start, always to the second day. Then went up against Mick, the previous World's Open qualifier from last year. The only reason you didn't win that one last year because you weren't there. So, but it was a 7-4 win to yourself against Mick. Can you remember the bit about that game? I think we had that on stream, I believe.
Yeah, it was a really fun game. I kind of got that good win in the first game. I was like, okay, I've got a chance here. And then I thought with Mick's fleet, he's got a lot of firepower. from the Patriot Fist and from the Munis. So I was thinking I have to be very careful with my ships, but the squadrons could probably do a fair bit of work, and also his vultures probably I could take down quite quickly. So I thought if I can take out his squadrons, take out the Gazanti, and then make a run for it, that's probably a 7.
And one of the most classic...
That was the theory. And then managed to maneuver around.
And one of the most classic moments of the stream is just Shara versus the world. It was just
Shara versus all those things. It was the funniest thing to see. Almost every single counter with Shara was like 3 hits back against the Vulture, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it was about 4 in a row or something. And I've never, you try and step back as TO. You try and sort of, like have that non-objective sort of stance and just let everyone, play the game. But I was just looking at that, and it's just I couldn't help but feel really bad for Mick. It's just like, stop. They're already dead. It's just, don't put them in there anymore. Please, Mick. No, he's sending them in again. And, that was some of the hottest dies from Shara I've ever seen.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I remember you, James, complaining about how horrible your squadron dice were most of the day. Your squadron dice were horrible. They weren't that game. Shara's dice were on point that game.
Yeah. It was the crits, because they kept rolling crits. Squadron dice all game. But actually, with Shara's counter,
it's what she's there for. And oh man,
she's a nasty bit of thing. Yeah, and Shara did die in the end, didn't she? I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she lasted a hell of a long time, longer than she had any right to. It was pretty funny, but it was the flak that burned her down in the end. I think it was the flak that just tipped her over the edge.
Not the vultures.
And it was some vicious flak from those munis.
Yeah, that's what they do well, really good with those red dice. So so that was a really hard fought beat against Mick, and going to the final round, not knowing you're pretty confident going to the last round that you're had it there or getting there or something like that?
Not really, no, because I knew that the game against Lachlan was going to be a really, really tough game.
Well, at the time
we finished where we started, so basically what we could have just basically had everything sorted out in the first day and the first round. We all could have saved us all time and effort, and then just called it then, I suppose, couldn't we?
It was quite amazing that the first round is now the last round, and it's the exact same players.
Yeah.
And it was, and then you decided to switch it up, and actually, you could have gone second player and backed off, said, "Nah, see you later," but you decided to go first.
Yeah, I thought I would try going first instead, see what his objectives were, and have a bit of a game. Going into the last round, I was just keen to. Basically play it out. Let's have a bit of a fight, see how we go. And I probably knew, unless there was like a very big score on the table, it was probably going to be one of us. So let's have a fight. Let's give it a go. The objectives came out, and I saw he had the volatile deposits, and I was like, that's probably the least bad option because the other ones were scoring points as well. I didn't really like the scoring points, but the volatile, I would only be down 15 points a round unless I could force him off his own objectives.
Yeah,
which was kind of the plan at that point. So I rushed everything forward to try and flank him on 2 sides, and I managed to line up because he dropped the AEST to speed 0 to guard the rocks. So I lined up Jaina's light with a nice shot on there, which obviously ignores the early warning system as well. So to try and put that on, put some pressure on from him, put some pressure on from the MC30 coming around as well. I think then he saw the attack run coming in and bugged out, and it was really hard to pin down his fleet. But I was able then to start racking up the points from his tokens, and then it just became a brutal squadron war, which was just like trying to take out every little point that you could in order to even the score back up. I was not confident I was going to win that game at all.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting that in the first game you were just basically it was the squadron battle that kind of got it. And I think Lachlan realized that in that first game, and I presume that's why you kind of try to avoid doing the whole thing all over again. Because if he actually clued that he could have won the squadron battle, he could have won the game. So I think that's probably why you changed up. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. And you kind of the first time I had the choice, and the choice was. He was already wanting to go first, but I was like, I still went second anyway.
Yeah.
And I wasn't that sold on the objective I had that he picked. So I was kind of like, I think I fancy my chances more as first player, being able to get in there, get that first activation in the squadron phase, etc. I thought that might give a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
And also, I wasn't sure what his objectives were. So again, with him being very keen to be first player on the first round, I'm like, maybe his objectives aren't going to help him out that much. So it was also like, give it a go, right?
Yeah. So after all that, you won the whole event. We'll talk about the results later on. Are you going to Worlds?
That's the plan. Yeah. Flights booked in.
Beautiful.
Yeah, hotels confirmed. So yeah, it's going to be there. Really looking forward to it.
Nice. Right now we're looking at 5 Australian players, which is really good compared to it was us 3 last year. So 2 more extras are coming up. So free. Oh, hang on.
I think.
I think we've got proper Team Australia contingent now.
Yeah, because I know Sean is heading over. There's yourself. There's James.
Yeah.
Dan, the Ninja Boomer, is heading over as well.
Yeah.
I know Roscoe, who's one of our Canberra players. He's actually currently working over in Canada, so he's going to be popping down.
Oh, that's right. He's got a last chance qualifier.
Yeah, and he got a last chance qualifier ticket. So there's 6. Yeah.
6, nice.
And I think maybe my fingers crossed that Lachlan can make it as well.
Yeah, we're hoping for all the best. Coming second in the New Zealand qualifier and then the Australian qualifier. Yeah. He's earned his place to go, and hopefully he does get the funds to get over. So, any plans on Worlds, James? What you're taking, or are you still deciding that at the moment?
It's fair to say it'll probably be something I've practiced recently. So Kraken may be making a reappearance, possibly, but might make some tweaks. So still sort of refining a little bit before. All the guys locally in Canberra are now having to
hiding.
Have to practice. Sorry, Jim.
Oh, that's all right. I have an Akbar list ready to go because I know it's your kryptonite. So. We're gearing up to do quite a bit of testing for both Dan and James over the course of the next couple of weeks. And I am looking forward to losing quite a few games over the course of the next couple of weeks.
I know that layer list we were talking about earlier. I think you have a chance of that one.
Oh, I'm going to throw it against James just because it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're going to be some good games.
Awesome. Now we'll go to you, Jim. First off, you were the TO for the Australian World Open Qualifier. How do you think the event went? You were pleased with it?
I was really happy with it, honestly. The 2-day event I think worked really well. Getting the 2 days was really good. I was actually quite thankful for the venue as well, for CanCon, because it was a really nice place to run this thing. I do have to, give a shout out to LPG for actually, putting things on like the prize wall and everything else. But
that was amazing.
The prize wall was fantastic. The support that we got from them was really good. But for the event itself, it was outstanding. Having 20 players all coming together to play Armada for 4 rounds was incredible. Seeing only 2 of those lists having onages was even more incredible. Just the diversity of the different lists that we saw. And everything ran smoothly.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I had a couple of, things in place just to prevent any kind of accidents of scores and that particular kind of stuff. Because I knew, this was a big one. This is a serious. I didn't get to run it in the normal, fun and games kind of style that I prefer. But every player just really brought their A game. And I loved also the fact that, you had a few people flying in who had forgotten a couple of things, and there wasn't a single second of hesitation for someone putting up their hand going, yeah, no worries, mate. Here's the card. Here's a model. Here's whatever you need. It was great. Just the overall sort of feel of the 2 days was fantastic.
It was awesome. It was an awesome event, I've got to admit. And for the first time ever that I know, that we actually, it wasn't just the eastern side players. It was actually had 2 Perth players come in.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Well, we had some pretty good. Yeah, I think we had some pretty good representation from across Australia. Because we got, obviously there was some Queenslanders coming down. Had a bunch of blokes come in from Newcastle and around New South Wales. Technically, we had someone come in from Tassie. So they're Victoria, I think, and Western Australia. Also, I don't know if we had anyone repping from South Australia.
I believe not. No.
Yeah, South Australia and NT are the only 2 places I think we actually didn't get.
Yeah, it's a shame that the there's a good group of South Australian players there, and
the guys down at Tabletop and Gawler are fantastic. I remember that event in 2021, was it?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, same. I think of the four of us that went from Canberra, three of us got it. I do remember that one. That was your double onager list, James.
That was that player.
That was your just and yeah. That's the only thing I remember from that list is the pain, the absolute pain of just losing the game in deployment when you realize what's facing it, what's staring down at you.
It would not be legal now after the points changes. So
No. I think that'd be like a 450 point list at this point or something. I think even with you had a massive bid with that list as well, didn't you?
I can't remember on that one.
Yeah.
There was a fair amount of bids because I remember I had like a 6-point bid and you beat me on that one. So, the other thing that also struck me about the event is like the side event when we had just the task force battles. Like I remember one of the guys just brought up his prize tickets and then took a Republic starter kit and a CIS starter kit and just took them off. I'm like,
and just took them off. Yeah. Well, it was the one thing I feel a little bit bad about is that I didn't advertise the side event as much as I wanted to. Because I was really focused on getting the main event done, but also had a whole bunch of work started up and everything else like that. But I was saving the majority of the prize wall tickets for that side event, and unfortunately, after the slog of 4 rounds, there were a bunch of people who were just like, "I'm sorry, I'm too tired. I'm not going to be able to make it," or I brought the kids with me and I want to actually go have a look at Canberra. So only 4 blokes were able to rock up for the side event, so they made out like bandits. Yeah. But at the same time,
I know what prize they were. I would left the streaming to Mars and go and play in the side event as well. I know there was such good prize support.
Oh, but they had a lot of good fun games. It ended up because there was the 4 of them. We just did a full-on round robin. There wasn't need to do Swiss. It was just now everyone gets to play 3 games of a 250-point task force tournament. They ended up having a huge amount of fun.
Nice. Yeah, it was really, really good for them to actually play the second day and do that and get those prizes. So, which is
absolutely.
Really good.
And I do have to thank Dan, good old Ninja Boomer, because he actually donated a home one, so a new inbox home one and a new inbox Providence to the prize pool as well. So I did give him some tickets to thank him for that, so we could try and lure him into playing Shatterpoint. Always an ulterior motive. And that was the other thing I enjoyed doing as well, the bounties, which I brought into day 1, which was, I think was that Andrew might have suggested it, or I can't remember.
I could agree. I think it would have been an Andrew thing.
It might have been an Andrew suggestion. I think it was like an offhand comment on the Discord. I'm like, no, this is a great idea. Let's do it. Let's get some fun little bounties. And the one thing I like to do when there are prizes on the line, or when I've got extra prize supporters, I always like to give it to the people who are just having a very bad day. Yeah. They're playing James, right? Or something is happening where it's a case of, the winners are having a good day because they're winning and they're going to get the prizes for winning. So let's throw some prizes towards the people who are, maybe their dice is not turning against them or anything else. And it just so happened that so many of them were happening in the first 2 rounds. Like I think all the bounties were claimed by the end of round 2.
Wow.
That I had prize support for at that point. Because it was like, have your admiral blown up by another admiral. That's right. On 3 red dice or more, roll nothing but blanks. That one
seems like a common thing, that one.
Well, I mean, that was one I could at least guarantee that James wouldn't get because I've never actually seen his red dice roll blanks. But little bounties and stuff just to sort of jazz things up and make it fun. But I knew I wasn't going to run bounties for the second day because, for that top 8, there has to be nothing but them playing the game because at that point, everything's on the line.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So when you're starting actually getting the lists and all the players actually submitting their lists in, what list surprised you the most?
All of the lists that didn't have onagers, and that's mostly because that was actually it surprised me, but also at the same time it warmed my heart because I'm just glad that we're moving beyond that meta. No, some of the most surprising lists, honestly, were Michael and Barry, especially when I looked at Michael's and I looked at 2 Kuats and an Interdictor. I saw no rerolls whatsoever. I saw the RBDs, the Pittix, and I'm just thinking, holy crap, that is so many, like, that's just so many hull points and shields to punch through. That seems insane, but how is he planning on winning with this one? And so I asked him when he rocked up, and he's like, well, and his strategy was go second, and they won't kill anything of mine. So that naturally gives him a 6-5.
That's an interesting strategy to just go and try and get you into 6-5 into top 8.
But I mean, it worked. And the thing is, if we look and like in his first game, and that's the thing, like when you think about the front face of a Kuat, and he's going to be getting up close and personal with these things because of just the nature of just Star Destroyers and the way the game is played. A Kuat doesn't need that many rerolls when its full front arc is in play, and he was going to have 2 of them. Like that was the Claymore list, front towards enemy. I don't need rerolls. I'm just going to throw stuff at you until you die, and you can't kill me.
Well, it was interesting how it played for him because his first round he got the 9 in the first round, so he completely won the first. His second round he got a 6, so not a big MVP. Then it was 5, then 2 losses, a 5 and a 4. So
it was that first round win that got it for him. Which gave him that top 8. When I saw the other lists going into the top 8, I kind of thought that would not last long because at that point people kind of know how the monster works, and there were going to be a couple of fleets that I could see countering that, especially because it had no squads. I knew if James was going up against it, he'd be like putting all his ships over in the corner and really hoping that they don't ever get touched. And Lando and the squad ball are going to down one of the Kuats or maybe the Interdictor and then run away. And especially Lachlan's fighters as well. There was going to be a counter for it at some point, probably, but still, that's like 17 hull.
Yeah.
Per Kuat. There was actually a game, I think it was the game he played with Sean in round 4, where he had to recycle his damage deck. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen in a game. He burnt through all 52 damage cards.
Wow.
It's 52, isn't it? Yeah, it's 52.
That was round 2 and top 8, that one was.
Yeah, sorry, round 2, top 8. Yeah. He burned through every single damage card with the sheer amount of damage that was being thrown out by Sean in that game.
Was that Sean? No, was that against Sean? Against Sean? Against Michael.
Yeah, no, it was definitely against Sean because I remember because I got a TO question. It was like TO, waved the hand. I walked over. I was like, hey, what's up? Expecting for me to have to draw, like look at line of sights or anything along those lines. And they're like, yeah. So what do we do when we run out of damage cards? Do I just not take damage anymore? And it's like,
no.
I really hope not, but let's just look at the rules. Yeah. So no, that was incredible.
He got the Providence carrier out of that list. He did, and it was still a 9-point win to Sean, but it was still it was a well-earned 9-point win. That's for sure.
It was well earned, absolutely.
Well earned.
Yeah. So that was I think that one was the surprising one. I loved seeing that both GAR lists were both Anakin.
Yeah, I know.
Although Lester won the award for being the last person to submit his list and doing it almost an hour before all lists were due. So he was really hanging on there. But yeah, so just only 2 GAR, but both being Anakin, which I thought was interesting because if I was expecting Bale or Lumi, maybe Yularen. I was actually not expecting Anakin because, no Salvokin anymore. So, and I know new Anakin can be powerful, but didn't think he was kind of, I'm going to a Worlds qualifier powerful at this point. But no Bale, no Lumi, just Tugar.
Yeah, props to them for giving Anakin a try at an open Worlds
100%.
qualifier. So,
but like when you look at the tournament points though, at the end of the day for that top 8 after day 1, it was still close. Like both GAR players were only 2 tournament points off getting into the top 8. So
yeah, I think there was that around was it like 5 and onwards? It was very close in tournament points, wasn't it? So it really came down to MOV, I think, for a couple of folks with
it came down to MOV for all the final 3 in the top 8 because they were all on 23. Yeah, 6, 7, 8 were all on 23 tournament points.
Wow. Yeah, it was
and then the 9th player was also on 23 tournament points, but his MOV, that was Jason. His MOV was just not enough. So
yeah, it's just crazy. First day, how many? It was just that kind of swing that could have easily made it into the top 8.
That was actually though kind of what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
In that the reason why I wanted to go 4 rounds, even though it's a slog, like we start at 9, we finish at near 7. And the CanCon guys were trying to kick us out while the last round was being played too because we were going late. I wanted there to be an opportunity for you to get a loss, like maybe not even a massive loss, but at least a reasonable loss, but still work your way back up into the top 8.
100%. I totally agree with that. And then 4 rounds, you get who is the top 8 and who isn't. So,
but still, crazy moment though when I draw that first round and I look at who's playing each other, and the first bloody table is James versus Lachlan, and I am surprised that it wasn't James versus Lester because I always seem to draw those guys for the first round in whatever tournament that I'm running. But yeah, just to get that kind of game as round 1, that was a hell of a way to start things.
Crazy. It was, and to be round 1 and then to end it off,
and then to bookend it round, like the final round, the final match was great.
A rematch, it's like it was crazy. Things you could have done better.
A lot of things. Advertisement beforehand, probably the side events, that kind of stuff. Like I mentioned, but. I was pretty happy with the format, the 4 rounds and then the 3-round top 8. Maybe running it on a day where James wasn't available. Although I thought I'd done that.
I heard the rumors that you weren't going to come. So
I mean, I thought I'd actually done that because he was, not supposed to be there. But
you kept the fly casual guys out of it by organising them to stream it instead of playing it. So
that's totally true. And again, that was actually that was actually huge. Maybe organise better internet for you guys. I still can't thank you enough for coming and actually streaming the 2 days because that was awesome. The commentary was fantastic. The setup was great. So
no, thanks, Jim, for letting us do it. And if we're not playing Armada, we love streaming it. So that's one of those things that if you're not playing, you watch it and stream it is really the fun bit for us too. So
but for Worlds, if I was to run, so if we do get the opportunity to run another World qualifying event again, and LPG decides to do it at CanCon again, I don't know if I'd change much. What would you change?
More time to set up.
Actually, a dedicated streaming area for us.
That would be nice. Yeah, dedicated area where it's a bit quieter and some more room. More time to set it up. Oh boy.
Look, honestly, and this is a shout out to our local brick and mortar. If I could have run the whole thing at Jolt, I absolutely would have, because the tables, if nothing else, are just that slightly taller, so you don't get that bad back after 4 games. Yeah, even my back was ruined after that. No, I wouldn't change a thing. And the players as well. The one thing I actually do want to shout out is that I don't think I had a single I don't think I had a single like annoyed / angry / this is the way the rule is supposed to be interpreted kind of thing. Everyone knew their lists. Everyone knew their rules. Everyone was really calm about it when there was a question. And when that question was just, was answered, usually by the player on the other side, it was like, okay, cool. Now I have that clarification. There weren't any divas or anything along the lines like that. Every player was just outstanding. The biggest contention I had was basically, is this an arc? Which is the kind of question that I expect, mostly because it's a case of like, you want that third party to be able to come in and have that fresh set of eyes and unfortunately say, yes, James, you are an arc, you can shoot. Great moving. Yeah. And I think there was a couple of times where it's like, I can't tell, so let's just let the dice decide, because that's what the game's all about. So
yeah,
but no, every player showed some excellent sportsmanship across the entire event. So,
and you usually see that in Armada events, even anywhere you go, from the store level to even the Worlds. It's always been like that, which is really good, which is why it's such a good game.
Yeah, even the
one of the great things about Armada, everyone's very sportsmanlike in that sense.
Yeah, well, even the Legion TO was coming over to me saying, "You don't seem to be doing much." I'm like, "Yeah, no, because look at these guys, they're great." Whereas he's like, running up and down, doing a whole bunch of TO calls and so forth. Yeah. Then again, they did have 60 players.
Yeah, well, double, triple us. So, yeah, understandable. All right, let's continue on. Let's do a very quick rundown of the top 8 lists. First off, we'll go off with the breakdown of day 1. So there was 8 Imperials, 7 Rebels, 2 Republic, and 3 CIS players. Funny enough, the 2 Republic were 2 Anakin lists, as said before, and only 2 Onigers for the whole of the event.
And not run by the same person.
Basically.
That's a win in itself.
It is.
Yep.
And then, okay, so we'll go down to the breakdown of day 2. It went down to 3 Imperials, 3 Rebels, no Republic, and 2 CIS players made the top 8 cut. All right, so we'll transition over to the list here. So we'll go from 8th onwards here. So 8th place was Alex Forbes' list of Got Raids was his name, and his commander was Count Dooku. Ian, you got the list in front of you there, or?
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah, we got of course I have to say these words.
Magnificent
Star Freighter with Dooku, Wat Tambora thermal shields, point iron defense cannons, linked turbo laser towers. We got the Recusant support destroyer with Ruin
Hako.
Yep. Flight controllers, boosted comms, expanded hangar bays, linked turbo laser towers, and Patriot's Fist. And Gazanti, and we got some squadrons in there. We got the DFS 311, the DIS T81. I'm not going to pronounce that.
Flak.
Is that Flak?
Flak.
Call it Flak. Yep. Flak. 4 Hyena droid bomber squadrons and 3 Vulture droids. I actually like this list. I was really kind of glad to see it. I don't think we got it on stream though, did we?
No, it was.
I actually wanted to get this on stream, but we didn't get a chance. I would like to have seen this play.
Yeah, because we were struggling to get one CIS player on the stream. Of course, we couldn't get into Republic, so we've got Mick's list on there on the second day. But this is the list that James fought on the first round and 10-1. So
yeah.
Oh, James, how did this list play? Is this what do you think of this list?
No, it was a really cool list. I think, unfortunately, it was just a bit of a deployment setup issue for Alex when he set the Muni facing exactly the wrong way where the fight was going to be, where he put the Recusant. So I just gunned everything for the Recusant. It was a really mean fighter ball, and it was quite a hard fight against the fighter ball between the fighters. But again, because I had a lot of rogues, it meant that Dooku didn't do as much to counter, and I was able to then put pressure on the Recusant. Because he just had hyenas around the front. I was able to just keep bombing, and with literally just the last shot from Lando, I was able to just burn it down.
Yeah, because
so he couldn't get another activation. Because if it had another activation, it would have torn my fleet up.
So what did he Dooku on? Did he Dooku nav?
It was squadron and 2 navs.
Yeah, because
I just made sure I banked a squadron token.
Yeah,
and banked a token on the.
You lost about 100 points. You lost 103 points in that one. Was that mostly fighters, or did he actually get one of your ships?
I'm trying to remember what the mission was now. I think we played. My mission was
abandoned and infested fields, or you played yours.
Yeah, so because he had Dooku, I didn't want to play his missions because I knew that was going to. So this is again where having the bid was helpful. Dooku, don't let him have second player.
Yeah,
made sure I went second, and also had a lot of fighters, and my objectives, spoilers, were set up to kind of counter heavy fighter lists. So I chose to go second. He picked the infested fields, and then he managed to flip it on me. Really nice play. He managed to send the fighters out there, like grabbing all of the tokens before I could get my rogues in there to go, because he used Dooku to count my GR-75, so he could send his fighters in first. But once he did that, then he'd actually spread out a lot of his fighters, and therefore then I started picking off the ones that were close to his recce's and was able to then start. But he got a lot of points from my objective. He flipped it on me pretty badly.
Gotcha.
And then killed some more fighters as well.
So yeah, Alex came 0 and 3 for the whole top 8, and with 6 tournament points and 0 MOV. So we'll move down to 7th place. That was Michael on 1 win and 2 losses with 11 tournament points on MOV of 110. And that was of course, the Interdictor double Kuat list. So we had Interdictor Suppression Refit with Admiral Modi, Taskmaster Grint, Projection Experts, Disposal Compactors, Grav Shift Reboot, Targeting Scramblers, Point Defense Iron Cannons, and the Interdictor title. Then 2 Kuats with Expert Shield Techs, Reinforced Blast Doors, Point Defense Iron Cannons, and no squadrons for total points of 394. So, just
really is about endurance.
Yeah.
It really is about endurance, that list.
Yeah. As Jim said it's just basically, I throw all these dice, try to kill me. So, it's just amazing just seeing that regenerating 17 points and 17 hull. And we had that on stream. It was just would not die, that Kuat.
Until the second day when they really did start dying in droves.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like you look at, and I think, the unfortunate matchup that he got in round 1 was Colm with Akbar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Akbar, it doesn't care about your hull, and you're not getting close enough for that front end of that Kuat to actually matter. Yeah. And he's just going to keep chipping away.
Yeah, then that we did have that on stream, and it was basically just chipping away, just those red dice and Intel officing as well too. Well.
Yeah, Intel. I remember that one. Yeah, Intel really killed him in that list.
Yeah,
that's what really hurt him. This one here, Intel pretty much what cost him the game with Colm, but I also feel like his list really is a list to counter Onagers. And that's really about it. It doesn't really counter much else. Like, get into the Onager, just endure what it's throwing at you, and then just kill it. It's not really good. All the other things he played, really, it wasn't really all that great against.
I think it's a fun list that you don't really.
It's a fun list, and you don't want to see it. I don't want to play it.
Yeah,
I don't want to play against it, but I don't feel like I'm losing badly to it. It's just yeah. Any other ones on this one? We'll move on, or all good?
Yeah, it's really fun fleet. Very, very tough. Very tough.
All right, we move on to the Sean. He came in at 6th place with 1 win and 2 losses and 14 tournament points and MOV of 252.
Oh, this is scary, wasn't it?
Ian, do you want to go through that one?
Yeah, I like this one. So I've been trying to work out how to use a Providence carrier, and now I know how to use one. So we got the Providence carrier with Hondo and Akko, chat officer, boarding troopers, ordnance experts, expanded hangar bays, and medical teams. We got a Starhawk Mark 1 with Radis, Lando Calrissian, Major Durlin, boarding troopers, point defense iron cannons, XI-7 turbo lasers, Magnite crystal tractor beam array, and Amity. We've got the GR-75 repair cruise and Bright Hope. And then for squadrons, he's brought along Corin Horn, Martin, and Rogue Squadron. And this was
400 points.
Yeah, 400 points. It's just, hey, I'm tanky enough. I don't care. You can go first. You go second. I'll just outlast you. It's just.
And he, I know that his all his objectives are, your Starhawk farming style, I'm just going to hang in the corner style objectives as well. So he doesn't care if he's going first. He doesn't care if he's going second. He's always deploying in the corner. He wants you to come to him. It is one of the best uses of Magnite tractor beam arrays I've seen, because draw you into the trap and keep you there. But Sean also does, because I beat this list once while he was testing it, and that was with a Sloan list, but that was only because he had most wanted as one of his objectives. And I killed the Starhawk, which gave me immediately almost 400 points. He no longer used most wanted as an objective after that match. It was gone, which I think was a really good choice.
I can't see most wanted working great for that shit.
No, yeah. But Sean actually does this amazing gameplay thing, which I'm totally stealing, because he never again suffers from the forget your fleet phenomenon, because the whole point about the Providence is that when it comes on, he has to Hondo immediately to get the squadron token to be able to use the double boarding troopers. He forgot it a couple of times, so when he deploys Providence on the side of the field, he takes the Hondo card, puts it on top of the Providence, so it is there when he puts it down on the field, and then goes, "That's right, Sean, do this now." And it's great. It's a beautiful little mechanic to kind of, not forget the linchpin of that move, which is the double boarding troopers.
If it works, it works.
It's actually a fun thing, actually. With Hondo, a lot of people who took Hondo, they pretty much used it almost straight away every time. Whether it was because they were playing surprise attack or they just really wanted that hurry up and get that token there quick. Hondo, I know I always played Hondo later in the game when I really need those tokens to pull off something or get away or repair. But everyone, it seems to me the strategy is play Hondo as soon as possible.
I'm actually just curious. I'm now going to go through every single list from day one and count how many lists had Hondo and how many didn't.
On stream, there were a few. I just know I saw Hondo a lot on stream.
Yeah,
I'm remembering Hondo on quite a lot of lists, and right now, all top 3. No, James did not run Hondo. James, you're ruining it.
Boo! Boo!
Well, when you think of it, most people a lot of people taking surprise attack for their red objective, and usually they take that so that way you're forced to pick their yellow or blue. So Hondo's a good counter to that surprise attack because you're going to stop them from navin or squadring or something. Hondo kind of takes away that problem.
Yeah, 100%. It's just sorry, James.
Yeah, no, sorry. One thing I really liked with Sean's fleet as well, like the way it played, it's he starts that Starhawk off on speed 1, and it moves forward slow, so you have to come to engage it, and you don't have enough time generally to burn it down because it's incredibly defensive. But then when it strikes and he drops the Providence and traps you there, he can punch the damage through really hard. It's a really nice way of using Radis to get those ships on target.
How many times did we see medical team go off in an open worlds qualifier? Ian, like we had, I think Dan had it as well too, and just you never.
Yeah, I think there was a medical teams was also a big that 1 point MPV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you got the point slot, it's probably not a bad thing to take it really, because it really can make a difference. I think what was the crew card that got this? I remember it also being a critical crew card to get rid of as well. I think it was like you couldn't keep tokens or something, and he needed the tokens. Something in the game.
Well, it was Com Noise, wasn't it? Com Noise.
I think it was Com Noise. Yeah, he got rid of Com Noise or something. And Com Noise I hate Com Noise. That's a horrible card to get. And so it's worth taking that 1 point just so you don't have to deal with Com Noise.
Yeah.
All right, it was 8.
8
Hondos.
8 of the 20 lists had Hondo. Technically, it was 7 who only had Hondo Officer because Dan took Hondo the squad, which we'll get to talk about when we get to his list.
Yeah. All right, let's continue on. We'll go to 5th place now, and we've got Mick coming in at 5th with 1 win and 2 losses, 18 tournament points, and MOV of 352. So Mick was running the Martuk Separatist fleet with Recusant Light Destroyer, Tykes, Veteran Gunners, Assault Proton Torpedoes, Swivel Mount Batteries, and Patriot Fleets title. Then he had 2 munis, one with Martuk Thermal Shields, Point Defense Iron Cannons, and Link Tab Laser Towers. Then the second, just Thermal Shields, Point Defense Iron Cannons, and Link Tab Laser Towers. Then he had a Gazanti Cruiser with Hondo Honaka, flight controllers, and 6 Vulture droids that just died to Shara.
Still haven't forgiven you for that, James.
So what did I do? I just rolled the dice. He just rolled the dice. It wasn't his fault. He shouldn't have attacked Shara.
Yeah, you should have seen it. It was a war crime.
Well, it's on stream, so people can go back and watch it anytime they want.
I think I need to put like a sense, like a warning. Atrocities are corner.
Hey, also 6 of the top 8 Hondo.
There you go.
Yay.
Everyone's favorite Merc.
Everyone's favorite, yeah.
Oh, no, 5 of the top 8. Either way.
But Mick going for his traditional Martuk list. I was speaking beforehand at the start. He was looking at a Republic fleet, but he didn't feel comfortable with it, so he just went to his old faithful Martuk list, which still.
Yeah. I think he played that fleet because it was the Luminara fleet. He played that up at an event, the C4 event up at Gosford.
Which he won, wasn't he? Did he?
Yeah, he won that, and it was a very nasty Luminara bomber, I think a matchstick bomber fleet.
Yeah. Love Lumi.
Well, he also went, another thing too, Mick was also one of only 2 players to go undefeated on day 1 as well with this list. So
yep.
Yeah,
this is a good list.
Yeah,
really
well
I do love and always forget the Muni LTT red dice flak, which just reaches out and touches.
Yeah.
I confirm that chewed up my squadrons pretty badly, actually.
Yeah, did you just
to the point where they had to bug out and hide behind some obstacles?
I was going to ask, did you basically just essentially just hide in obstacles until you could deal with it?
Yeah, he had it was his Ion Storm mission, so he got to set up all the obstacles. So I didn't have any to hide behind. So it's sort of like a bowling green where unless I was hiding behind the obstacles right at his end of the board, then his LCTs were going to chew the squadrons up. It was pretty vicious.
Yeah, it's just nasty. Just thinking that at long range you'll be fine, but no, LTTs, bang, there goes a tie. There goes an A-wing. You can just sap it off the life weight.
That's like 1 red flak turned into 1 red flak and 2 black at long range.
Yeah.
And when you get to close range, it's even worse then because he's adding in the black dice.
Dice, yeah.
It's got a great flag. But yeah, it was and his Patriot Fist as well just hits like a truck. I avoided it like a plague.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've got to have.
Why?
Yeah, you've got to have like a strategy with Patriot Fist. Either you try to avoid it or try to take it out as quickly as you can, because those muties do not go down quickly as well, especially with thermal shields and their engineering. They're just hard to pin down. So, yeah, again, a solid list by Mick there. So, job well done coming in 5th there. So
it was actually the contender too to possibly take it on that last round. If he had to go to 10, he could knock. He was one. But looking at it though, both him and his last round opponent, Colm, who we're going to go through next, actually both of them are just looking at their tournament points, had the chance to knock both you and Lachlan out, James. So there's actually 2 of them if either one had to go to 10.
I think I worked it out that if either one of them got a 10, I think maybe Mick only needed a 9, maybe. But yeah, unfortunately, with the
based on the game results, he only needed a 9, and I think Cole needed a 10. Yeah,
Cole needed a 10. Yeah. But then the 2 of them matching up, that was always going to be difficult because it's like red dice versus red dice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go now to Comms now, coming at 4th place. Ian. It's an Akbar list.
And here we go, an Akbar list. Yep.
There you go. Your favorite. I
like this one. So it's an assault frigate too. You don't see many of these on the table much these days. At least I don't. Assault frigate Mark 2B with Akbar, Intel officer, Kaken and Sholin, electronic countermeasures, and enhanced armaments. So that is a lot of red dice out the side there. We've got the MC-30 scout frigate with Intel, veteran gunners, racks, TRC, and foresight. We've got a TRC Janus Light Corvette with Ahsoka Tano there as well. Medium transport with our favourite boy, Hondo, my friend, with Comsnet. Then we've got the Lando, Ketsu, Shara, Tycho squadron combination there, which is, I'm sure Mars would like to go against that squadron anytime.
Ketsup.
It's a beautiful squadron ball there, isn't it?
Ketsup. I hate Ketsup.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good strong list, this one.
Yeah,
it's Akbar, the TRCs, moves fast.
And you saw it against Michael's game how deadly it can be at long range.
Yep.
So
and he had that Akbar conga line running beautifully. Every game he also had the models were beautifully painted. So I would, always like to sort of, wonder why and have a look at his table and just to see all those beautiful blue ships and that nice little Akbar conga line just throwing red dice downrange.
Yeah, it was nicely well done, and job well done for coming all the way to Canberra from Perth and doing quite well. So hopefully it gives some of the boys down in the West Australian to say, hey, come on down next time. You can play with the big boys.
But his only loss that day was to Lachlan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 wins, 1 loss, 20 tournament points, and an MOV of 348.
I think we had that one on stream too, didn't we? I think he was the round 2 on stream. Coleman, Lachlan. We streamed that one, I believe.
No, round 2, round 1 we had Michael. We had Michael
on.
Yeah,
round 1 you had Michael, but I think round 2
we had round 2 we had.
I'm pretty sure we had Lockie and Coleman. I'm pretty sure.
Round 2 we had Mick and James on.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Mick and James.
Oh, okay.
I thought we had this one on stream. That's all. Yeah.
No, we had Michael and Colm.
Ah, okay.
So we had the Kuwait versus the Akbar. So I just remember that conga line and just picking off those Kuwaits.
Oh yes, it was too, wasn't it? Yeah, you got one behind, I think. And,
and just
it was nuts. Yeah,
it was crazy. So job well done for him, and it was really, really, really great showing for him.
Yeah, it was really horrible because I think it was that first round attack because it was a surprise attack they played.
Yes.
In the first round into the interdictor, causing it to lose its brace token, I think.
Yeah. You were discussing if I lose the brace, would you lose the brace? And
that was a tough one. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NC30 got the first round.
Yeah. So top 4, job well done, Com. All right, we'll go on to 3rd place. We've got Daniel Ninja Boomer, one of the other Coolant Discharge boys. He was flying a Admiral Screed feat. Again, love my boy Screed, and I love the title. I presume you had a hand in this, Jim, in Space Comic Hughes Screed.
Yes, that I actually can claim that was my suggestion.
Love it. So let's go through his list. He had an Onika.
I like to think that I came 3rd in spirit.
Nice. Onika class Star Destroyer with not the test bed. He had Admiral Screed, Governor Price, Weapons Battery Tech, Fire Control Team, X9 double X9 turbo lasers, and the super heavy composite beam turbo laser, Blue Beam.
The Blue Beam.
Then he had a Gladiator 1 with Demolisher title, Intel Officer, Ordnance Experts, Medical Team, and Assault Proton Torpedoes. Then a Gazanti class cruiser with Comsnet, and squadrons were Darth Vader, Tel Tavura, Hondo Hanaka, and 3 fire sprays, all coming at $3.99. And as I said, he came in 3rd with 2 wins and 1 loss, 20 tournament points, and an MOV of 581.
I got a lot of things to say about this list because I've died to it many, many times. But this was one hell of a comeback. I saw that first match. He deployed, unfortunately, badly against Mick, and Mick punished him for it in the first round.
Yeah.
And he's come out of that with like 1 point pretty much at that point. I mean, I remember he walks up to me. It's like, it's over. It's done. And it's like, nah, just wait for it. Play the second round, and then boom, gets a 10-1 against Alex, and then round 3 against Sean. A 9-2.
Unbelievable.
The hell of a comeback for Daniel with this list.
Talk about submarining.
Oh yeah, no, this was the ultimate submarine. I mean, if things had gone a little bit differently, we could be sitting here talking to Dan instead of James.
Yeah.
But no, I love this onager. This is a play on a onager that has hurt many people here in Canberra, basically under Dan's guidance, because he loves the blue beam and he absolutely makes it work. The number of times where he's gone, okay, that's 8 damage. Also, you're taking an additional 4 damage from all these crits. It's very painful. Usually he's got Gunnery Chief Nilian on it as well, just to make it even more painful. But this was the Screed. I'm just here to make you hurt version. And
all the guarantee the crits.
Yeah, the XX9 turbo laser as well, giving you 2 face-up damage cards. Like that just hurts.
Yep. weapons battery text. So you get the 2 face-up cards and the additional blue beam crit as well on top of that as well.
Hurts.
Yeah, that is an onager that will reach out and touch.
And of course, X9's Turbolaces doesn't the normal crit does not stop it because that's a special crit. So it is one of those ones that's just like, oh, really? I get 2 face-ups even if I spend my contain? Yep.
Screed says hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty certain this list, James, correct me if I'm wrong, but this started out, he tried it as a Remoti first, like the traditional Remoti onager.
Yeah, he had Remoti on there. And I think it was finding that it just wasn't getting the red dice so often. Like avoiding the obstruction is handy, but it wasn't really leveraging it to get extra firepower. The Screed was, especially with the blue beam and then Demolisher in there, leveraging those crits. And he used Screed really well on Demolisher as well. I remember, against my MC30, rolls a natural hit crit, and then Screed's another one. It's like, cool, you can evade one, but you can't evade both.
That's it.
So it's going to happen whether you like it or not. Yeah. The standout for me, though, was Hondo Fire Spray. Because the number of times it got to shut down Lando or it got to like move Shara away, just get in there. That one ace that ruins your whole day, Hondo is just going to get in there and tell it to stop. Yeah. It was a really nice touch.
It's the whole squad. It's just not fun. All of it's just not fun. Like I've got a lot of scarred memories of fire sprays just swarmed back wave 1, 2, whenever they came out. The people would just bring Imperial Spring like those. They're rogue. Rolling 3 blue dice and what they rolled against ships? 2 blue,
two
blue,
2
blue bomber. Just those alone, they could take out ships themselves. It's just scary.
They did. I remember Dan's fire sprays did a lot of work over the weekend. But the Hondo one was just a beautiful touch because Hondo lets basically those fire sprays get in and do the work because anyone who's coming into block, Hondo is having a conversation with.
And Vader as well too, just a bomb. Yeah.
You try to avoid Vader, and then what does Hondo do? It says, "No, you go see my friend."
Yeah.
Go talk to my friend.
I believe you have an appointment, sir, and I'm here to guide you towards it. There you are, right through this door. Yes, you do. Here's the message.
That definitely happened in our game. I think Shara had thrown in to bog down the fire sprays and Vader, and Hondo was like,
"No, my friend,
not gonna happen."
Shara, my friend, I saw what you did to those vultures.
Come, we shall have
not going to happen here.
Just gold, just beautiful.
Oh, love it.
It's only 120 points. All that irritation for 120 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to know. Do you know what his objectives were by any chance, Jim?
I do.
I presume it'll be the crit ones. So like
They will be painful. Yes, indeed.
Volatile would be one. I think if I was choosing, Volatile would be one. Then the red Iron Storm.
This could be a fun game. All right. What do you think they are? What do you think the red is?
Iron Storm, because it has a crit on it.
And it's a negative Ghost Rider.
Oh, okay. Yellow, I'm not quite sure. Maybe a Contested Outpost.
Oh, no. You're 0 for 2.
Oh, and then
James will actually know these ones, considering how many times you guys have tested against each
volatile
other.
Deposits for blue.
All right, you get 1 and 3.
Ah, there we go. That's what
I'm thinking. His red one probably has something to do with. I don't think it'll be most wanted, but maybe surprise attack or possibly. Yeah, I'd say.
Surprise attack?
I feel like I'd want surprise attack on that. Just because.
Would you like to lock that in?
Yeah, I'll lock that in.
All right. Well, unfortunately, no. In this case, you've lost this round. You should have gone with your gut. It's most wanted.
Was most wanted?
There you go.
Because if nothing else, that onager can reach out and touch, get some extra dice, and just makes it even worse, and just racks up the points.
Makes sense.
The yellow.
His yellow
is the one I think I pick because the others are horrible.
And that's exactly what I picked. Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking something like Asteroid Tactics or something, or
no, it would be Asteroid Tactics. You wouldn't give Lando a free run.
It's based around the Gladiator.
Oh, Hyperspace Assault.
Hyperspace Assault.
Bingo. Yep. Hyperspace Assault. Yep. And that is the one that I always pick when playing against this list because the others are just too horrifying.
Yeah, because then he loses the Gladiator as a deployment, so you've got a chance to see where that Omega is going to go. So that's probably the best way to see it.
It's also neat because with hyperspace, if your opponent doesn't have many squadrons, you can also drop those fire sprays in with demolition and send them into bombs. So it's a nice combo. But
so that's
it was the least bad choice.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I would have chosen myself too.
Yeah. So I think Dan's one comment about his list is that I think Gladiator died in every single game.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
demo always died.
Yeah. Understandable. It's kind of like free 82 points that you can, because it goes in there and drops its payload and tries to run off, and then that's when it, people go, oh, here we go, kill it.
The trouble is he doesn't have the engine text to get him out of there. That's the trouble.
That's a lot of points already. It's 82 points already sunk into that. So
do
you want another 7 points into that? So that's 89.
No.
So yeah, no.
We'll keep medical teams for the win then.
Yeah.
Medical teams are so good.
Oh, it really is.
All right. So we'll move down to second place now, and we'll talk about Relent. So Lachlan's list. He won all 3 games and had 21 tournament points with an MOV of 268. So his name was net listing is All I Know. And he was running Grand Admiral Thrawn with Imperial 2 as the flagship, Captain Brunson, flight controllers, expanded hangar bay, early warning system, and 7th Fleet Star Destroyer title, with a Gladiator 1, Hondo Hanaka, projection experts, and 7th Fleet Star Destroyer title. Squadrons were Darth Vader, Darth Vader TIE Defender, Marek Steel, Colonel Jenin, Howe Runner, 4 TIE Fighters, and a Fire Spray, coming in at 385. So this is basically a 2-ship build that Mac came from Canada, a large package created. So this is why he's saying net listing is all I know, because this is a meta list that that he does, and he's famous for this 2-ship Thrawn build. Was it weird to seeing Thrawn on the other side, James? As it carried you as your first Nationals win?
It's nice to see Thrawn on the table. I was actually mainly worried that Lachlan was going to be running Sloan, so I was like, "Oh, great, it's not Sloan." But then you realize that those ships are navigating like crazy and throwing squadrons. You're like, "Oh, actually, maybe I would have preferred Sloan."
Yeah. Just
I know how it feels to go against someone who throws squadrons and nav at the same time. It's not nice.
Yeah, and then that Imperial tour with flight controllers and expand and hangar base, just launching them with extra dice. I actually play tested against this list with Lachlan a week out before. He had, instead of Fire Spray, he had Mora on there, and it was a nasty fleet to go against. So I understand why he dropped Mora, just to get the bid, which you almost got there, the highest bid, but it was just nasty, just all those squadrons, and it was to have both double defenders there, just because most of the time, either with the points that you have, you're either choosing Vader or Marek. He's like, why not both? So
well, even the Fire Sprays, even that extra one to okay, cool, you lose Vader, you lose Marek, or even you can't get either one of them there. Just having Jendon double tap a ship or even a squadron with a Fire Spray is still pretty good as well.
Yeah,
like, especially getting double tap a ship, like 2 blue dice bombers. That's there's 3 options there for Jendon double tap, not just one. It's crazy. Yeah,
and of course 7th Fleet, Captain Brunson, and that Gladiator 1 with projection experts, just keeping and early warning systems as well on that Imperial 2. It's just it's probably one of the hard things to kill next to the 17-hull Modi Kuat fleet. It was one of those things you just like forget it. Like,
I don't think it died across the entire event.
I haven't seen it, but I believe what I saw, it was one of those things you just forget it, because you either get knocked by the squadrons, or your squadrons get knocked by his squadrons, or he's just Captain Brunson and just your dice are nothing basically. So
did
any of his ships die the entire tournament?
I'm looking at the points and no.
I don't think any of them did. It's everything. I'm the same. Look at his points too, and all his points indicate he either slaughtered his opponent and didn't give up much, or
fighters. I think the majority of what he lost were his fighters.
Because that Gladiator one is just, it isn't a demo. It isn't one that gets you in your face. It stays behind and protects the Imperial too.
I'd be surprised if it even got shot at across the weekend.
I got shots at it, but he just kind of kept flying it away.
Because James, you started shooting at it when it came across the Imperial too, but it just
in that last game.
Yeah, the last game.
I had a bit of a chance to get a bombing run on it. But, because I was trying to maneuver the MC-30 to pressure his Gladiator off the obstacle. But he swung it around really fast. I was like, oh, maybe I've got a bombing run. And then he just zipped off the other side and then was out.
Nope.
Yeah. But it's a good combo because whichever one you pick on, if you go after the ISD, it's pretty tanky. He's already got Brunson and early warning system. And then the Gladiator can always throw some extra shields his way if you need. And if you go after the Gladiator, he just zips out the way with it.
Yeah,
so,
as I said, almost cancels 2 dice with Brunson and 7 fleet. So, 2 damage. Sorry, 7 fleet only cancels a damage instead of a dice. So, if it's Brunson with a double, then almost 3 damage is gone from that attack pool. So, it's very tanky. So, again, job well done for Lachlan. I know he was disappointed with New Zealand, and he was really gunning for this one as well. But again, coming second place to yourself, James, it's a job well done, and shows how much he's gained. He's still a young player and still young person, and he's gained a lot from the game for the last couple of years, not just not in person, just online as well too.
Yeah, really, really close fought games with him, and really, really good, strong player.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully we'll see him at Worlds this year in March, next month actually, which is strange.
That is close.
It is close. It's crazy. And then of course we'll get to the final list. The winner, James, yourself, with 2 wins and 1 loss, and with 22 tournament points, with an MOV of 441. And so, James, you got your list. You want to go through that yourself?
Yeah, sure thing. Give me a second.
You still remember it?
Yeah.
I had to pull it up on my phone just to remind myself. This was Kraken's Rebel Raiders, and it was
version 3.
Yeah, version 3. Yeah, and it was an MC-30 torpedo frigate with General Kraken, expert shield techs, ordnance experts, external racks, and H9 turbo lasers. That was accompanied by a CR-90 Corvette A with engine techs, linked turbo laser towers, and Jaina's light. Then another Corvette A with engine techs and linked turbo laser towers again. GR-75 transport with Bright Hope. And then Squadron Ball, 134 points. Lando, Hera in a Ghost, Shara Bay, Tycho, 2 A-Wings, Skirg Bomber, and Gold Squadron for a total of 384 points.
Wow.
Big bid.
Yeah.
I love that Squadron Ball. I really do.
Yeah, to fit all that in the full Squadron points is just bananas.
It's the Hera. It's Hera. And I think it's a really good application of the Ghost, because do I want to send in a Skirg and Gold for that horrible bomb, that rogue bomb in the Squadron phase, or do I want to send in Shara and Tycho to just basically just nuke fighters? It's and Lando, to be Lando.
Yeah, I think it's almost an order.
You can't not take him.
No,
he's just so good. Yeah,
unless
he's the first squadron in every Rebel fleet I build. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I think the first thing I'm going to talk about that kind of stumped Ian, because he's
this one stumped me big time, because
it's like
I'm talking on the stream and I keep saying LT, not linked to the
TRC Corvettes.
Oh wait, he's from that. So I didn't read the list. I said, Corvettes take TRC. They don't take anything else. You stable it to the card. But no, someone for once changes up and brings out linked turbo laser towers. And I'm like, what? And let the viewers know what was your reasoning behind that.
So TRCs is what I'd used in a lot of earlier versions, and the TRCs was is always good, as you know. But I figured if it came down to a squadron fight, and often there were going to be some squadron fights, then having the LTTs means that the corvettes can lean into that and help try and tip it my way as well. So that was sort of the theory behind it. The other one was I often found, because of the engine techs on the corvettes, you were able to perfectly position every time for a double arc. And so actually sometimes having a reroll was better than auto setting one dice to a double. If you had two shots with rerolls, was also useful.
Saves the evade token as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
Would you also say it's also because you are heavily confident in your red dice rolling?
Ooh.
Is that the other reason why?
We will.
That's why I always take TRC, because I don't trust the red dice. So I always take the TRC. I usually roll the side arc. That's usually me blank. So I always change it to a 2-hit. And then I usually do the front arc with a 2. And usually I always get at least 1 or 2 hits out of that. So that's usually my reason for taking the TRC. Just to always guarantee at least 3 to 4 hits each attack. But Link Turbo Tower, I've got to look at that though. I think
and it's great with James Light as well. Great with James Light.
I honestly, I love it, because I mean, when he first started testing this list and switched to LTTs, I thought it was insane. But no, the ability, it makes the corvettes now useful in all phases of the game. Like you were saying, they can be useful in the squad phase. They can be useful in against squads. They can be useful against big ships if you really need to. But realistically, are you sending anything other than those fighters up against big ships? Or maybe, like you're coming around the back with a torpedo frigate and just being generally annoying in that fashion, or just farming your objectives.
A lot of times you find that maybe a fight like Vader Defender comes to a corvette and bombs the bejeebers out of it.
Yep.
And it doesn't care about the flak. Here, on the other hand, hang on, I've got something to do. I've got to be careful about that LTT attack. So
that was part of the rationale as well. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
This is the kind of list I really like seeing on top tables, simply because it feels like it's I could tool myself against whatever comes my way. What do you think do you think there is any kind of hard counter to this one, James? Or like, what are you most terrified of aside from Sloan?
I think the one fleet it really struggled against, and maybe just needs a bit of practice on whether I can get the damage through or not, is the SSD when I played it in the Battle for Endor.
Oh, yeah.
The SSD was flown by PT-106, who's a great player. He jerry turned to trap my MC-30, and I couldn't. It wasn't going fast enough. Couldn't get fast enough to get out of the front arc, whereas the corvettes were fine. He was never going to catch those. But the MC-30 he managed to trap and blow that one up. And that was a really hard fleet to fight against.
That's fascinating, because I think that's one of the things that you'll probably be seeing a lot of worlds, because I've seen in like the Texas Opens, the Las Vegas Opens, I think there's been quite a few SSDs thrown out in a lot of the US store champs. So
and apparently it won LVO or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was a Jerry SSD that won LVO. Yeah.
So I might be asking you to get the SSD out, Jim, to practice in the next one.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I used to take Kraken lists against SSDs quite a bit, actually, and it's the real secret. Like I said, it can't touch the corvettes, but the MC-30's got to get close, and you really can't afford to get close to the SSD until you've gotten past that front arc. Even if a Jerry's going to come around and do something, you've really got to get right behind it, because otherwise, it will. I know they really just don't move like corvettes. Yeah, you really got to save it. You just can't bring it in there very close. It would struggle against it. I think you can get half points at this list, but trying to table one's going to be difficult though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And the fighters as well, because I remember that SSD had the upgrade that gives you the counter one.
Oh yeah,
quads.
Yeah.
James, I just need a small favor. Can you build me an SSD list, please? No reason. Asking for a friend.
Sure.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, thank you.
You asked that wrong. You just said, so James, what kind of SSD list would you truly fear? Can you give me an example?
Can you give me an example in intricate detail, please, while I'm just clicking randomly on this screen? No reason whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, I'd be playing it tomorrow if you weren't playing Access for a while. Look at you having a social life.
Yeah.
But we should test that. We should definitely test that. Very keen to try.
Test you having a social life? What? Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we're going to do a bunch of testing before we ship you lot off to Chicago.
Yeah, and so we'll be seeing you there. And then again, congratulations, James. Job well done. As I said, now a open world qualifier, now champion next year. Dual national championships and multiple store champs, I presume. I'm not going to count them.
We don't.
No.
We stopped, actually, because I did a trophy and everything, and the only person's name who was appearing on the list was James, so we stopped.
Sorry.
Not sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry.
Do I get that trophy now, Jim, by the way?
What's that, sorry?
Do I get that trophy now?
Yeah, sure, I'll grab it. But don't be sorry. If I enjoy anything, it is losing to you because you're one hell of an opponent.
You were playing back.
Damn nice.
You were playing, James,
true.
back during the old when they had the plaques and the kit days and the store champs and that, didn't you? Were you playing back then?
Yeah.
You got a pile of those sitting in the back shelf. You don't know what to do with as well.
There's a couple kicking around. Yeah.
He has them on display. Don't you worry about that. You know.
So I miss the old day medals. Oh, I pinned them on my jacket one day and walked in just to annoy everyone.
Yeah.
I miss the medals.
You look like one of those Russian, commissars, just
like the was it all the North Korean soldiers have all these medals all the way down, but never
basically like that.
Yes, I see you two fought in the battle of the store championships of 2016. It was a tough time. That
It was,
did you survive the Anakin years or the Salvokin years? I have a medal.
The glory days before the dark times, before Anakin.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
The Flotilla Wars, right?
The Flotilla Wars. Oh my god. Fish farm. Oh my god.
How many of you still have more than 2 of each flotilla, like now gathering dust somewhere, or have you managed to just turf them all?
I've got 3 flotillas for.
No, I only ever had 2.
3 flotillas per flotilla, so you've got like
I've got
3. You've got 3. What is it?
I've got 3
combat
retrofits.
What was that rebel list which had what was it? You had the MC-80 with, I don't know what, 4 flotillas and
that's
Akbar
the fish farm.
and
Fish farm.
the fish farm list or something. And you just kept moving tokens or something.
Yeah, that was it. It was basically, was it Sensinet or something ridiculous like that. It just
stupid. It's just
come towards me and
It didn't really kill though. If you got in fast enough and got out fast enough, you could do it. But
but it was a lot of We've got one. Primitive says, I have 3. He says, that's 3. So yeah. All right, guys. I think we'll wrap it up for tonight. We've all gone for an hour and a half. So I think you guys have probably need to get back to your normal lives. But thank you again so much. Yes, sleep. I don't know. You guys want to go. James, I presume, is going to start, meditating and start, going to chat PT and start writing.
I think
we're going to play again on TTS, Mars, haven't we?
Rebellion. Game of Rebellion.
Old joke. James is going to be doing his nightly ritual of putting all his red dice out around him and just,
It's going to be floating and it's going to put it off the internet, chat GPT him and make them all,
What was that character in Overwatch with the orbs? Because I'm totally imagining James like that with the red dice. I need someone to do an image of that as soon as possible.
Well, if you pay the money, ChatGTP does art now. So just upload a photo of James to ChatGTP, the art one, and some red dice, and I'm sure it can do something like that for you.
I will see what I can do, but right now I do think we have to go because my cat is destroying everything on my desk as a sign that it is late and the human is still awake.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Big thanks to James and Jim for joining us. As I said, they run their own Armada podcast. It's Coolant Discharge Armada Podcast. I have a link to their Podbean page in the show notes below, so make sure you do check them out. They do go through the Australian World Qualifier themselves, and with Leicester as well, and Ninja Puma there as well, going through their fleets as well. So make sure you do check them out. Any final words, guys, before we wrap up for tonight?
I think for me, just big thanks to Jim for running an awesome tournament. I know you put a lot of hard work into it, and it was really well run. And fab time. So and thanks guys for hosting and streaming as well. I think all those things just make it great experience for everyone. So thanks guys.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, and same here. Huge shout out to you Fly Casual boys for coming up and giving us some fantastic 2 days of streaming. To all the players who came along to the World's Qualifier, all outstanding human beings. Would absolutely love to run a tournament for you guys again.
It's
keep not
10:37.
flying onagers.
10:37
There are other
PM.
things in Armada other than onagers. This is a public service message.
I don't mind other people flying on just because, then you just fly Kraken. You don't have a problem.
Exactly. Please run on just. I love it.
I want to see less. I want to see less interdictors because there are objectives I want to play, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not going to bring Doom Station because somebody here decides to bring an interdictor, doesn't he? So I want to see less interdictors.
Speaking of Mars, what? No, play what you want, fly what you want, and just have a huge amount of fun while you're doing it.
100%.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, blame the dice because
and blame James for and his dice.
I also do that too.
Ian, any final words before we wrap up tonight?
No, I need to go to bed now because I got to go measure discus tomorrow. So that's fun.
Fair enough.
Kids,
All right.
we love,
No
we
shot
love
puts
kids
were
sport.
harmed in the making of this podcast.
Yeah. Shot put, discus, javelin. It's fun. Yeah.
Hey,
I got to be careful. Actually, my daughter can throw a javelin 17.23. Was it 17 meters at the moment? So if I'm standing 20 meters away from her, I know I'm safe. So
okay.
For now.
that's the minimal safe distance now.
Stand behind. Stand behind.
No, Ian's got to be in front and realize, am I 20 meters away or did I do,
Oh, no, I have to stand in front because she needs a target. So
I was going to say, is
Like I
that
said,
why
it's-
she's getting better? Because, you're
Yes.
standing in front of her and giving her the motivation?
actually, it was really hilarious because she was competing against 8 other girls. No, I think it was 9 other girls, and she came 4th. So she was really upset because, she's the first who misses out in the medal. But she said second's worse because then you just weren't that good. In her opinion, you just weren't good enough. So that's her opinion of second place. So it's hilarious. But it was it's funny though because she was all the other girls. They come up, they throw. They come up, they throw. My dog was like, "Rah!" Like you think she's like in the women's tennis the way she's grunting. And just all the girls are sitting there laughing at
All
her.
right.
But they found it hilarious.
All right.
Everyone hears the screaming across the field, and they all look. It's funny.
I think we'll end it there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We'll be back whenever we are back. But again, big thanks to the Jim and James for coming on. And we'll see you around. And remember, like, subscribe, follow us on the socials, and fly casual. See you later.